under my seat and to the back. I popped that open earlier so you could see it. Okay, so I came all the way through the driver's side. So this is the remote wire I was talking about earlier, and the power wire. And pretty much it just runs underneath the seat right here all the way from the other way over there. And what you want to do is that my wire actually barely made it, so I don't know exactly how long it was, probably about 15 feet or something. So it barely made it. This is the power wire right here, hooks up straight into your amp. I have a Performance Technique amp, so it's gonna be different for every amp that that's out there. But my power wire is right here, this bottom one. The signal wire is right there, the middle one, and then the ground wire, which is just bolted to a little. I didn't have to drill anything. I think it's one of those bolts over here. I can't lift it up on this side, but it just looks like that. I just removed it and bolted, or there's like a thing that you could bolt it onto. So I did that. Then that's how I hooked up the amp. But I didn't show you guys how to hook up the signal wire. Alright, so the signal wire, pretty much you just had to hook it up straight to the fuse for your radio. So mine's, you can't read it from the camera, but it's 35, fuse 35. There's also like a little instruction thing right here. It's easiest if you just take a picture of it, keep it on your phone so you could actually read it. So mine's 35. It could be different depending on what year your car is, but it should be the same. You just pop it out, strip the wire, so the signal wire, and then stick it back in. Make sure the wire doesn't touch both sides of the fuse, because then it will short. So if you're doing this, probably a good idea to have some spare fuses, because you might blow some. Okay. And then one last step for the subs, if you actually want them to work, because that's just for the amp. Here's those splicing kits that I was saying earlier. These are the wires straight from the speaker. I didn't want to cut them, so I had those splicers. What I did was, how those work, you just put one end around the wire here, and the other end, the one that you want to splice into, and then you stick another wire in, and it just splits that signal, and it goes into that high-low converter I was talking about earlier that has 5 wires. It has a ground for the entire thing, power and ground for the left side and power and ground for the right side. So this is the left side of the car. So I hooked up 2 wires to each side, the power and ground. I believe the brown was the ground for this side and the yellow was power. So I hooked that up, and I had some like insulation stuff, whatever, I forgot what this is called, but just to make it look nice. And same thing the other side. This side, I think ground was orange on this side, and blue is power for this. So pretty much that just hooks up into this high-low converter. And then it has 2 RCA outlets, like on TVs, how red and yellow, or red and white. And that's what hooks up to the sub right here. So that's what actually makes the sub work. And from right here, if you don't know how to hook up an amp to a sub, pretty much you if it's this is a 4-channel sub, I'm just using made it monotone because it is just a sub. So there's like guides on the actual sub telling you channel 1, channel 2, or whatever, and it tells you how to do it. So it's 1 channel, so I just did that, and it goes straight into the sub to actually power it. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know. The hardest part, like I said, was just finding where to put it through the firewall, but right there where your steering column is, that's probably the best way to get through the firewall itself. But make sure it doesn't wrap around your steering wheel, because you don't want to rip it out and pop a couple fuses or anything. But I hope this helped you, because I sure was doing this for like an hour and a half trying to just look for a spot